Yo, 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 what's poppin', what's crack-a-lackin', what's really good? Thank you for listening to The Rope Break, your source for news, opinions, and everything else that revolves around the world of professional wrestling. It is I don't have a clever, witty thing about Star Wars or rhinestones or breaking through plaster. I just am Shockmaster Grizz. And here with... He has been the hardcore icon of Connecticut. He has been Connecticut's original beast. He is, in fact, the sexy beast. He is none other than 17-year professional wrestling veteran Bull Dred. Please say hello, sir.
Hello, everybody out there, out in podcast land. I hope you're doing awesome, sexy, as I am, baby. Woo!
Indeed, and every single day. Okay, so just to kind of break it down for everybody, Pro Wrestling Academy in Connecticut is closing the doors of its daily training facility after the month of September comes to a close. Bull Dred here has been the head trainer for several months, and he's always been a contributor to their shows. He's always been like a mentor to the students. He's been more hands-on lately. It's coming to an end very shortly.
Couple weeks, yep.
It may be a new beginning, indeed. But how have you been in general, Bull?
What could I say? I've been awesome. And what I mean by awesome, I mean I live an awesome life. I'm living every day as healthy as I can, and much healthier than I have been the last 10 years. But I live a very awesome life, a very positive life, a very inspirational life, and I just try to be a mentor and an inspirational figure and positive figure in everybody's life.
Well, that's incredible. As somebody who has not only seen you day to day recently, but also who has seen you since, I was in high school, and I saw you wrestling with Pat Gunner, who would go on to be Joseph von Schmidt, the founder and former head trainer of the school. You know, you and my buddy
Scott. He is head trainer of the school.
Well, yes, absolutely. You kind of are the head trainer of the school.
Yeah, in his absence.
In his absence. I've seen you go from a really, really thick dude, like big, tough, extreme, hardcore wrestler, to your svelte frame now. How much weight have you lost?
Well, I don't have an exact estimate, but I had to be well over 330 pounds, and I got as low as like 245. That's what the scale I have at home, but I am currently between 260, 265, in that range. So I would say 70 plus.
Okay.
70 plus pounds.
But you're in the best shape you've been in your career. You're doing moves, you're doing athletic stuff, and you've always put up a great fight in your matches, told a great story, but you're doing moves even now that I've never seen you able to do.
Yeah, I'm doing things now that I kind of started when I couldn't even do when I first started. I didn't start doing sunset flips until maybe like 6-7 years ago. That was before my knees started really bothering me. But now I could actually jump and actually have no pain. But I have day-to-day pain. But there's things that I could do now that I can never do in my career. And I like to bust out little things here and there in every match. And but I'm really cherishing my time in the business now because I do see an end coming. And even though I'm given my goal of 20 years, I set the goal, so I'm cherishing every moment right now in the business. So I'm trying to just have as much fun as I can, and I'm having the most fun in the business now than ever in my career.
I know, as somebody who started training maybe 3 summers ago, hearing the way you spoke then, hoping for a match against somebody who I've watched and enjoyed since I was young, thinking I wouldn't get the chance. You were talking retirement 3 years ago. Yeah, and now here you are talking about another 3 years.
Yeah, well, everything happened for a reason for me. With the weight loss, I got type 2 diabetes, which jump-started the weight loss and kind of changed my whole lifestyle. And I went from looking to retire at the end of 2015 to going into 2016, that's when the weight loss started happening, without my knowing, obviously with the diabetes, and until I got diagnosed with it. And I just, just been hitting the gym, watching what I eat, even though I don't have a strict diet now, but I stay active as much as I can now. I'm lifting and keeping my cardio up, and it's amazing how some of the young guys got to keep up to me now. But
how many times do you go into the gym every day?
Well, I'm going at least 5 to 6 times a week.
Okay.
So
sometimes you're banging out 2-a-days.
I like last week. I did a Monday. Went to the gym, did my cardio, and right after in the evening, before class, came to class, taught class. Did a little bit of a workout because I try to save my body, bumping wise. Then I went back to the gym at 11 o'clock and I did my third workout, which was lifting.
I mean, you're sitting here with me, telling me about all this weight loss, telling me about how close you were to retirement. The current PWA Independent Wrestling Champion, carrying that belt into this coming Friday Night Fights, which is going to be the last of the regular monthly, bi-monthly performances by Pro Wrestling Academy as the facility closes down.
Yeah.
What do you personally, because it's all over Facebook, we've seen a lot of the competitors who are taking part in this huge event, but what are you personally bringing to this Friday Night Fights, this big, huge send-off to the Cheshire facility?
What I always bring, baby, my awesome.
You do?
That's it. I mean, every performance, I bring 150% of me. Mm-hmm. I mean, wrestling, you got to have, no matter how you train or how you work is how you train. How you train is how you work. Every show, I bring it. I bring who I am. I put all my heart and soul into everything I do and every performance.
It shows, man. It really does. And you know what? What people at home might not know is you put your heart and soul into the training as well. It really, it translates to your students, and I could speak as a student, but all of us, feel the same way. I'm certain that you care so much about it, and you want everyone to do well, and you want to impart the wisdom that you've earned over 17 years, and, we all appreciate it.
Well, I mean, the love, one of the main, Pete and I started together, Von Schmidt. We started a day apart, and our love we share the same love for life and the business, and that's why we were so compatible and we became the closest of friends, and what drew us together. We got the best out of each other, and our love for the business was, performing is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love performing, but I would say, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's 100% true, but I want to speak for him that our love, we share the same love for training.
Right.
And how much we love training with the students and seeing the kids do well.
And I didn't know that about you until you started training here at the school, because in previous years you've contributed as a performer for PWA's, the shows as a wrestling promotion. I didn't know that you would have this passion for teaching. Now that you've kind of basically secured yourself as the teacher here at the school, at no fault of yours or Peter Care's or anybody's, the facility is closing, which Kara talked about in her interview, that, it's just some bullshit with the landlord, but
it happens in wrestling.
Now that you have kind of cemented your spot as a mentor and teacher and conveyor of wisdom to an entire generation of Connecticut wrestlers who hopefully we're all going to move on and continue in the business. How are you going to replace that, since now 3-4 times a week you're not going to be checking in and teaching?
It's what's going to suck is I was just talking about this. It's going to feel really, really weird not being in the ring at least 3 nights a week now. It's sad for the students that are still learning, and it's sad for, for say like Hippie and Moonshine that who are still making their name. Or they're getting out there, but they haven't reached that plateau yet to where they've became a name. Where, like for me, I'm already established. Like I could post a flyer and I could draw people because
I've seen you tag with Jerry Lawler. I've seen you tag with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah. I've seen you as the inaugural NEW tag champion. Actually, right?
Yeah.
You and Ron first.
Yeah, Dred and Dred. We were the first NEW tag team champions in its 20-year history of being around.
And the tag team title just main evented their last show.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So the way I kind of look at this is that I'm established, but I could use the rest, meaning like just bumping wise, and I'll be able to concentrate more and more staying physically in shape at the gym. However, I still want at least, ring time, at least once a week. I know there's a couple other schools around, and I know both owners. I know because I know who they are. So it's easier for me to kind of freelance and kind of go like and train wherever I want. I just need some ring time. It's a little harder for the students, but it's going to be weird. But I'm definitely going to be taking just a little bit of time off, just resting the body, but concentrating more on my cardio and lifting in the gym.
Okay, well then to go on an aside, because PWA is obviously present in all our minds, especially this week, but you want to talk about like other aspects of your career. I think you just recently entered a new stage of your NEW activity, at least.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk anything about that?
Well, me and Zombie are reunited, and
if you don't mind me saying so real quick, I go to a bunch of NEW shows, and depending on where we are, if we're in Waterbury, we get to see Ron Zombie and Bull Dred wrestle, either together or separately.
Yeah.
And when I go to Bethany, or when I go to Danbury, or when I go somewhere else, I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people are used to seeing Bull Dred and Ron Zombie, and kind of get bummed out when they don't.
Well, it's the business itself, because it's evolving, and I could see how things like the promoter changes things up here and there. The way I look at it is this: as long as I have a secure spot and I still get used regularly, as long as I'm part of the company and then the fans. Let me break it down again like this: the more you're there, the less you're there, the more you get appreciated.
Sure.
That's what it is. And I understand it's for the good of the business in that way. And that's why I think it separates from, say, like thinking like that than an angry veteran. Because a bitter veteran, that's one thing I do not want to become, because I was once that person. But, sometimes you just got to kind of take what's handed to you and just got to stay humble. And that's what I did. But I did voice my concern. And I was like, I just don't want to be forgotten about.
Right.
And the fans are the ones that wanted Zombie and I together, basically, because they missed us. And what can I say? They love us. And I became one of the veterans in the locker room. I'll be celebrating 9 years with Northeast Wrestling in December. So, but if I never got the big break I did with Northeast Wrestling, I probably would have retired years ago, because I was in a bitter stage of my life and in the business. But I owe a lot of what I have today because of my big break that Mike Lombardi gave me. Sure.
And a lot of your fans who've followed for a significant amount of time have seen you go from, seeming, you said it, I didn't say it, so I'm just going to agree with you. Seemed a little bitter at times.
Yeah.
And now you're just, the positivity is like stunning. It's awesome.
Because, you see things that are, if you start bitching and moaning about the things you hate, you slowly become what you hate.
Sure.
And that's what I became. I was becoming very politically bitter about all the politics and the crap that was going on in the business. And I slowly started becoming that. And even though people were like, just stop doing it. Look at the success you've had. Why are you worried about what they're doing? And lo and behold, like after things went down and whoever was running this and that, doing the wrong way this or this, whatever bullshit they were doing, they ended up folding and falling flat on their face. So I look back and be like, why was I bitching in the first place?
Sure.
They, even though I was right, they ended up falling flat on their
Their
face.
negativity brought them down like an anchor. And
I have the very old school mentality, and I bring a lot of the work ethic that my parents taught me, I brought it to the business, and people mistake my passion and work ethic for ego. And I think that's why Pete and I always got kind of labeled like we look like we have egos, because people, Von Schmitz, his parents are from Germany. My parents are from Italy, so they're immigrants to this country, which they had to build a life for themselves. So
work hard.
They came with nothing, and they made a life for themselves and the family. They taught us the ethics of hard work, and with that, we applied it to the wrestling business for ourselves. And that's why, with the very little success I have, I owe that to my parents of instilling that in me, and I'm sure Pete will tell you the same thing. But we've lasted 17 years. It was going to be 17 years. We both took a few years off. But you know what? Once you start in the business, that's day one.
Sure.
And that's just the way it is. I mean, Pete, Kara, and I love her to death. She's like a sister to me. I love her. She's closer to me than my own sister. So it's me, Pete, and Kara. We've been together, and Brian Cox, but he comes here and there, but it's mainly us three that have been us this close, 15, 16, 17 years strong now.
That's awesome.
I would do anything for them. I told them, I was like, I'm going to be damned that I see PWA close its doors. And when they needed somebody to step up, I did it because I know it was time to do it.
And that's not, again, I got to sneeze.
Bless you.
Sorry. Thank you. Salud. What are you saying in Italy?
Salud.
Yeah, so we're actually kind of creeping close to time to get going.
Yep.
As far as class is concerned.
We got 10 minutes.
But what, I'm so glad you just shared all that history about you and Pete and your folks and Pete's folks. That's really awesome. That's like a really cool glimpse into the man that is Bull Dred.
Yeah, no matter what. Even though Sexy is just when I first started doing the Sexy Beast, I was really concerned. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to do this? But slowly but surely, I started learning that you just be yourself. So I started being myself through my gimmick, even though between the stuff I post and the way I say, whatever, it's part character, part really who my feelings and who I am. So it's a good combination of both. I think people could see where I'm being sarcastically funny, where I'm being sarcastically on a shoot and real.
Sure.
So if people understand my humor, they know either if I'm being serious or not. But it's all basic character. But at the same time, I leave it up to them. It's truly my feelings or not.
Well, you're, so it looks like you're going to give you and the promoter are going to give the fans what they want. You're going to be tagging with Zombie. It looks like you're going to have a feud with their top tag team, essentially, in the Now, over at NEW. Do you have any specific plans beyond NEW for the near future?
What I would like, honestly, is travel a little bit more again. Maybe call it like one last hurrah in some states that I have not performed in.
Yeah.
Just to say I, notch on the belt, because my kids are getting older now.
I hope I can take some rides with you. That's awesome.
My daughter just she comes to NEW shows. She's like, I like being entertained. I'm like, all right. Mikey, my son, he's gonna be 10. He's getting a lot into wrestling, and me being a parent. This is what's funny. People forget that I'm a parent, but I put it out there. I'm not ashamed of what I post because it's all how I feel, and I live my life. I put it this way: I love the attention. I think I'm never gonna doubt that or lie to anybody's face. But it's positive attention.
Yeah.
If I can make somebody laugh, I did my duty as a soldier of God. Because if I can make somebody laugh, you just brighten somebody's day. You say something positive, you can change a whole generation. It just the things social media is so important in people's lives right now. Even though I live on it, but my awesome and sexy goes coast to coast, worldwide, baby, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of talking about my life. I like talking. If I can help somebody out, I've done my duty. Because I'm a father. Whatever I say to my kids is the same thing I say to a stranger. You know, I want people to do good. There's too much negativity in this world. There needs to be more positive people and positive role models out there. And I've become like that public figure. And it's weird. I never asked for it. It just, it grew, and it's people have given me my purpose. And that's what I do.
Well, that is an absolutely beautiful note to wrap up on. For anybody who has listened to all of this, this is who Bull Dred is all day. This is living the gimmick. If it's a gimmick, this is, an extension of himself as a character.
My life ain't a gimmick. I talk the talk and I walk the walk.
That's exactly who this guy is, man, and he's a joy to be around. And honestly, Bull, I'd really love to get you on the podcast when we have the full hour and we have Joey there, so we'll get you on soon, but thank you so much for this time.
This is awesome, and glad we got to do it. Now we get to go and work out.
Bang! Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
All right.